you like eternal suffering? I like eternal suffering. I like not being able to reach the top floor since my 8th attempt. Welcome to the 11th attempt. Let's go. Let us go. To show you to talk about how long this is taking, I didn't do the extra work simply because I wasn't exactly a fan of the first extra work, so I didn't bother with it exactly. And I have a new mouse because my old mouse was starting to actually misfire inputs. We always start with easy floors mostly. Sometimes you'll get a hard floor, and sometimes there'll be no easy floors to start off with. Sticky ink sounds really good, but if there's anything I would love to have, it's ground control. So yeah. It's been a bit of a busy day. I mean, at the time of me recording this, the 10th anniversary of Freedom Planet has passed, and I wasn't able to do anything special for it, which I find a shame because I would have at least liked to have done something special, but yeah. Anyways, our first particular game mode we're doing is Splat Zones. Much like the same game mode in Anarchy Battle, Splat Zones is all about keeping the turf your color. If they decolor it, they will make the counter tick downwards. It's a slow tick, but it's a tick nonetheless. Be aware of the drizzling capriosos you have to watch out for, and be sure to keep your turf yours. And would you look at that? I thought I was about to lose the turf there, but I was able to get it working. Now, our first chip that we applied was a luck chip, as you can tell from the term Lucky Bomb Drop. These start dropping the moment you actually equip this chip, and you can actually get some chains and ground control with it. It's good to combo this with Turf Lucky Chain. Let's see. This is pretty good to have. I can't exactly take advantage of this. If anything, I want Inksaver Main. Inksaver Main, what I just equipped is a support chip. They're all about assisting with fire, assisting with your efficiency and fire rate, and making it so that you can either make your attacks cost less ink to use, make your shots home in, and everything else in between. I got Inksaver Main. Inksaver Main is all about making sure that that your weapon isn't as ink hungry as it normally would be. Okay. Drone chips. I do want to do a drone limited hacks challenge, but not the one where you have to only let your drone attack and such. But the reason why I'm going to be talking about drones here is simply because this is the chip we're going to be using the least, simply because we don't exactly have the ability to use the most drone chips in a hackless run. They basically give Pearl more options to deal with things. They can give you items, they can cover terrain for you, they can set different kinds of bombs, maybe even use specials. However, I want canned special drop. This is also really good. I mean, the splash damage could be increased with say with the splat bombs and the portals and such. But I don't want to take on that floor. Being able to attack more with my special is really good, and if you have one chip at the beginning, your color will be like colorless with with an accented yellow, unless it's this case where your color will instead be that of unless it's this case where after you applied the second chip of that color, it is now your primary color. Your chip palette is always dependent on what's the most abundant chip in in your palette. So in my case, since I have 2 yellow chips, my palette is yellow simply because most of my chips are luck. And I don't exactly have enough purple chips to get the accent color for it. It's been a couple of days since I was able to record this. I've been through a bunch of other obligations. Oi. Shelterless light, wide open floor. Ink attack size sounds pretty good. But I think I want wide open floor. Now, every 5th floor will always be the word escapes me. The vending machine. But unless you decide to deliberately take on the harder floors for it, skip the vending machine. Unless you just want to just get a free floor. Like, unless you want to speed up the process and just skip the floor. So, if there's one thing I recommend using the Trizuka for, shoving away enemies, like so. As you saw right there, they got some serious knockback. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Yeah, one hit from these, one nudge from a marching Adente or Lento is enough to put you in critical stasis. And I was really lucky to have even gotten my armor back when I was just barely running away from them. Not how I wanted to start this. Sorry for the phlegm. I think I'll take Splat Ink Recovery and change my accent color to my main color. Because there's not really much you can spend, so I don't really find the vending machine worth it early on. So yeah. That floor we did previously was a portals floor. Portals are floors where you have to basically destroy any of the portals by attacking it with enough points of ink, regardless of how you attack it with your color. And basically your best bet for winning those is to find an opening before that aura shows up that basically tells you, hey, enemies are about to spawn from this point. Now, this is what I mean by using the Trizuka as a shoving tool. When so many enemies are right next to you, or like grouped so close to each other, you can use them to just basically push them back. The very explosions are enough to send them flying and such. You can even send drizzling capriosos downwards and it messes with their pathing. And I got a new record from that, which I'm surprised. Oi. The game still wants me to go to the vending machine corner. I don't have enough money to splurge, okay? I splurged enough in California. In one of the games I've yet to put in, they just got a reveal trailer for Terry, which is a King of Fighters character. Now we are on a fleeting foes floor. We are here to use these Accelerando tops to basically splat the panicking Alamambos. If they catch sight of you or your weapons, they will run. Their only means of attack is to use is to use, well, splat bombs. They leave their splat bombs behind, and should you get hit by them, immediate critical stasis. But even if, say, they notice your little Trizuka shots, well, you saw the explosion knockback there. I'm getting a lot of purple chips this time around. It's always good to go for a support setup because it means having knockback and being able to stave off opponents. You know, I have sticky ink. This sounds good, but I always like going to Explosion Festival floor. Let's get our first orange chip. Orange chips are range chips. They're all about covering, coverage and applying range to your damage. With the exception, well, actually, no, this still counts as range because it's all about coverage. Hindrance damage means that you do damage depending on how much the gelatins are stuck inside your ink. And here is what I mean by using the Trizuka as a shoving tool. In fact, I swear, I think it's this floor where I just end up getting... Basically, don't let them get a chance to attack because, again, one hit from an Adente or Marching Lento is enough to basically tell you, hey, you're almost dead. The next time we merely graze you, you're gone. Which I think they did to basically make you turn on the weaker foes hack, which it should have just been a defense up chip. Like, I feel like a lot of these there should have been hacks that basically say these do not count towards Hackless. These are hacks that are there to make the challenge even harder if you want. Like, I wish there was ways you could just have be able to count unlocking Pearl's additional drone chips to not be a hack, but so yeah. Rising ground floor, not worth it. Bombarded rising ground floor, splash damage. Well, this is either going to make it or break it. Bonus floors can either be a challenge floor or a spectrum floor. And in this case, it's a... Not doing that! I am not doing that! No way! I don't care if I don't get the bonus. If the bonus is not worth it, if it's like something that's quintessential to even do, to basically even play the game, don't do it. If anything, I'm surprised they didn't even bother scrapping the challenge simply because it's literally impossible to do. Like, yeah, don't move in Octoling form on a floor where it's impossible not to move in Octoling form. You need to move in Octoling form. I'm not going to treat this as a bonus floor because of that. Sorry to get so negative about it, but if a challenge is not necessary and it just feels too much of an overbearing issue to even be feasible, then just don't do it. Get rid of that bonus and just treat it like a normal floor. You'll still get the chip and the base reward anyway. Ugh. And this is what I hate about the bonus floors, since they don't actually tell the difference between them. Like, ugh. This is the problem with this floor. Because this is a rigorous floor, you have to deal with a spawn rate that is absolutely inane. Like, the most inane spawn rate. Ugh. And there's a lot of marching lentos I'm dealing with here. Like, I can't do squid roll because of the number of enemies that spawn from this. Oh, that's... No, 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 no. There was nothing there! There was nothing there! How did that count?
Gotcha!
Oh, that's... No, 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 no. I'm not going to like having to go through the recordings of each of the attempts and posting them on the extra channel because of me getting agitated because the game decided to be not fair. Anywho, on to attempt 12. I would like to actually be able to make it this time. Because I've missed out on so many things I could be doing because I decided to do this challenge and the game knows that I wanted to do this challenge, so it says, how about we take up more of your computer space, shall we? We usually start off with easy floors. And if you get splatted early on and do this and take another attempt, you'll have no mem bucks, by the way. Let's get this one out of the way. This is the chip we're going to be using the least simply because of, well, one slot, and we can't really do much with it if there's only one slot in. Most of the chips are locked behind hacks. These are luck chips. These either are all about boosting your max lucky chain or boosting your odds of finding something or making something possible to find. And these are all about supporting. This is all about helping with your ink usage, your aiming and such. This is really good to have. In fact, I'm going to take it. I had to get a new mouse recently simply because of misfiring issues, and I didn't want to deal with that while recording and such, so yeah. And I want to get this done so that way I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the summer. Yeah. The first floor is tower control, or tower pushing. It's not the tower control like we know. Basically, you have to shoot at a tower to make it move. It will also sprinkle ink around, dispersing the tower with its turbine and such. The turbine you see on said tower, there are two turbines on the tower. One from below, one from above. And this is also a good tower to use your specials on because you can use something like Trizuka to basically push it even further. More on talking about the special later. Wow, really? You're gonna give me two of them? There's this here. I could use it. Yeah, I'll take the squid attack. Squid attack is a mobility chip. A mobility chip is something I can use for... is something that has to do with either mobility attacks or mobility with... or stuff that are charged via you moving. So if you are like moving or squid rolling, you can take advantage of these. So I can just, if I can gain enough speed here to show this, never mind, I will just get a special ready. If I'm moving fast enough, I can basically use that as a means to shove something away. Holy crap! That was not exactly the best way for me to show it, simply because of what I had to do. But that thing was about to kill me. Sound wave damage, not useful. This is a range chip. This is all about coverage and such. Like, this has to do with, like, coverage via inking the ground and such. And this is a damage chip. This is all about increasing your main damage regardless of how you're able to do it. Sound Wave isn't going to be useful for us, but Poison Ink, however, let's take it. Now, your ink, your palette is going to be dependent on what chips you are going to have. Of course, it's not a Spectrum floor. Don't take damage. You know, that one's actually feasible. If they didn't include challenges like don't move in certain forms or don't move in swim form, I think I would forgive them, because having those challenges show up is just bad design when it's something you, like, desperately need to do to actually, you actually need to do to even win these challenges. Because don't move in Octoling form. On a rigorous floor, where you need to do that, yeah, not possible. Not gonna happen. Because not everyone can do that. So, if it's not exactly feasible, don't do the challenge. Deplete that meter as much as possible, and treat it like a normal floor. And no, you will not get the upper hand on me. If you see the max icon, you basically got the maximum reward from that floor. Main damage close sounds good. This also sounds good. Let's see, I have Poison Ink, but you know, I want Explosion Festival. I'm going to make my main ink color red. I love going to Explosion Festival floor. Explosion? No. 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 This floor is a lot easier than it looks. Simply put, you have access to these pufferfish. And these pufferfish are really good for taking on. And I swear, I feel like this floor has an increased spawn rate on drops, because I swear I get so many disc piece drops from it. Basically, if they get close by, and they will get close by and such, you want to use these pufferfish to basically get rid of them. Or you can use your special. For example, I recommend using the very Trizuka I use is really good, well, for one thing, shoving. It's not good for use as a damaging tool. Despite the explosion and such, it's usually like when dealing with gelatins and portals, it's not exactly the best with portals. Like, I could just damage portals I can just hit it point blank with portals, and it doesn't do enough damage like it should. So, basically, if I see a huge swarm of enemies, I can just basically shoot them point blank, and it just makes them scatter. That's what I mean. Not enough money for the floor, but this sounds good, but this is better. This will actually make purple my accent color. Your ink is always dependent on what chips are in your palette, and now purple is my main color because I just equipped another purple chip. Like, your accent and main color are all dependent on what is in your palette. Your most abundant color is the color it will take. Sometimes you will see the accent color mixed in with your main color. And those drizzling capriosos there, they usually only spawn for splat zones floors and such, but sometimes they can spawn on certain other floors, especially on floors with on like the third tier, and because of that, they can they can basically block your paths to swim away. But on Splat Zones, they can be the most annoying things ever. Yeah. You really want me to go here. And you really want me to use a chip that I can't... A chip type that's the most limiting on Hackless. We're taking sticky ink. We got poison ink already. Let's get the sticky. That's bad. That's bad the way I put it. Abort. So we have a bonus floor, and it's a chip spectrum floor. These are the bonus chips I always. These are the bonus floors I always welcome, simply because one opening of your palette, and you have a full palette full of chips that of one color, just for a single floor. And yep, they play music too. Yeah. I think like when played fast enough, they play ebb and flow. It's something I found out while researching this project. And because Pearl's chips are through the roof, Pearl just threw a splat bomb. When you have a lot of Pearl drone chips and such, Pearl can very well be your he can basically save your butt so many times. And I still want to do a challenge where I decided to do 8's palette, but I can only focus on Pearl drone hacks while keeping it below 4. Splash. Oh, yes. This sounds good. I can't... Actually, yeah, I can take advantage of this. But you want this. If you're going to go against portals, Splash Radius is your friend. If you get Booyah Bomb, if you get triple Splashdown, you want Splash Radius to be increased. Needless to say, those explosions will get huge. They will get very huge. Now for the 8-ball floors. From an earlier challenge, you saw this floor. Never saw this type of floor. Basically, 8-ball floors are all about pushing a ball to its goal. And you also have to deal with one common mook that always associates itself with this particular floor. The battering lentos. They love to play with these things, like they're puppies, which looks adorable, but they are often the very reason why a ball isn't the way you're supposed to go. If you lose track of an 8-ball, just look for a battering lento trying to constantly nudge at it. I will say this right now: be careful around the bigger enemies, especially marching adentes and battering lentos. One nudge is enough to put you in critical stasis, and I find that bull. Still don't have enough, game. Ink damage. Time to make red my main color. I would go acrobatic triangular floor, but I would take it if it was something like main firing speed up. Now, orange chips are all about coverage, as you saw, and that's not what I want to happen. I was out of the... I'm so done with having to do this challenge and not actually be able to beat it and have it just end up be a scrapped project. So I'm going to guess that after the initial 30 floor climb, you have Pearl just sometimes transforming back into her normal self. I don't know what I was about to say there. And just sometimes just staring at her sweetheart. Them. Anyway. Pearl, I command you to become a drone. And I command you to come with me to unlucky number 13. Yeah, I had some pretty BS knockouts. I'm not kidding. And the worst part is, they were both on the first tier. Ah, gosh. I'm not using drone! Why do you want me to use this darn chip so much? Okay, so, because this is a hackless run, for some reason this game really wants me to use this particular type of chip, even though, one, you'd only have one chip slot to use drone with, and you have to make it count, and two, adding slots count against hackless. Well, at the very least, they have one option. The steamroller floor. I had to get myself a new mouse today simply because of issues I was having with my my previous mouse. And I didn't like that I had to get one so soon because I was working on things, and the constant misfiring of the double clicks was really, really bad. It was like I just couldn't exactly deal with it any longer. So yeah, in this floor we have to push this 8-ball from start to finish. This is a very straightforward floor, simply because it's also a unique floor, as it's the only floor of its type. Some floors will only have one difficulty for it. There will be no other difficulty based on it. And this is one of those floors because this floor is only available on easy difficulty. There is no normal, medium, or hard or rigorous for it. So yeah. And it's much easier than any of the floors involving any of the levels involving ball pushing, right? Octo expansion. Yeah. Now, shoot. This sounds good. I want this, but I also want this. So, yellow chips are all about luck drops and increasing your lucky chain. Red chips are all about damage, and they either involve doing more damage or speeding your attack rate up, or certain other properties exclusive to certain palettes. So, I have main damage close, which means the closer I am, the more damage I am going to do to targets. So, to give you an example, I am doing more damage the closer I am to those battering lentos. The ball pushing is all about trying to push a ball to the finish while having to avoid mooks, especially lentos, because lentos will like to play with them like they're puppies, which is adorable at first, but gets annoying really fast. I want this because, boy, having this is good. This is disc piece drop. Disc piece drop, basically, it means you get access to your screen nuke much sooner, simply because you have gotten 3 disc pieces. We are now on Portals. Portals is basically one of the most advertised game modes in this, when Side Order was still in production. To basically sum up portals, you have to destroy these portals where these gelatins are coming from. For this floor specifically, it's basically springing spiccatos that you're having to worry about. You can damage these spiccato. I sound like I was about to say sprigatito. We're not playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Anywho, spiccatos basically you have to hit their weak point before they get too close, and they'll try to splash down you. I don't exactly have the money for this. I do want this, though. Some floors will have an easy variant. Some floors will have multiple variants depending on the difficulty. Some floors will even have 2 variants of the same difficulty or 2 variants of the same game mode. And we're basically on one of my more favorite floors to do, and there's a reason why I got Splash Radius. Splash Radius is busted, especially when explosions are involved. And as you saw right there, the main reason why you want to make sure you are not too close to them when they even do a single nudge. Basically, one nudge from an Adente or a Lento is enough to put you in critical stasis. It took out my armor, as you can no doubt tell. So what you want to do is basically, if you're able to fly, assuming the game doesn't drop your pearl jumping inputs, you want to use that as a means to get some distance fast. And with Splash Radius, you can see that I have way more reach with my explosions, like so. Like, even the portal explosions are going to get bigger. Like, I'm so close to this thing, and boy, does it get really close to the blowfish. No. But yes to this. I'm getting a lot of luck chips. I wonder how long I can keep my every other chip as a luck chip going. It's probably not going to be very long, to be fair, but Lucky Bomb Drop and Battery Bomb Drop. That's kind of morbid considering what particular Samsung phone was a hot topic for 1 year. Hey. We're on Splat Zones, a game mode similar to that of the one in Anarchy, where all you have to worry about is keeping your zone your color before they decolor it. As you can tell, the Lucky Bomb Drop is going to come in real handy for this one. You want to make sure you stop these drizzling Capriosos as fast as possible before they cover your zone and make the meter tick down. Main damage distant. This would be very good if I had like main damage up, because I'm sure as heck not going to take advantage of either of these. So bowl floor. It's time for more ball pushing. The only one we haven't done yet in this run is basically the fleeting foes. And I think tower pushing. Basically, now that we got one ball in the goal, get to another goal. The one thing we have yet to approach upon is the challenge floors and the spectrum floors. Danger floors don't even show up for the first tier of floors early on, and as you can tell, yellow's become my main color. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to break this pattern because drone battery drop is not going to be helpful for me when it comes to not being able to take advantage of drone. Guess who has to stack another distant main damage up. And watch it be like, hey, don't breathe, otherwise you lose points. Don't use your sub weapon. Okay, I can live with this. If a challenge doesn't seem worth it, just basically say nuts to the challenge, and just basically deplete that meter and just treat it like a normal floor. And that is Splash Radius doing its magic. Oy. Yeah, they can even detect shots from your well, your Trizuka. And I was really close to getting hit by that Splat Bomb there. The Panicking Alamambos are basically, you have to chase an absolutely fast foe, and they have a chance to actually hurt you if they leave behind a Splat Bomb. Bombarded Rising... not worth the ×2. Main Piercing... You know, I can take advantage of this. Red's become my accent color since I have more yellow. So yeah. Don't jump, huh? That's gonna be very easy for me to do because I don't have to worry about jumping in this particular floor. I do have to worry about losing my zone though, and losing my ink. Oy. And that one bomb was enough. Oy, how did that not hit? Basically, for the zone, when you see a Caprioso, like right here, take it out, and then just deal with the lessers and Lentos later. And unfortunately, there was one that just. And you can tell it's like it was actually making my timer tick downward. Whew. Oh. There we go. That sounds good. Not worth the Ink Saver sub. I want the firing speed up. Sometimes there will be cases where the game decides to hand you a bunch of hard floors. Even on the easiest difficulty. Now, the lower tier floors, now that red's my most abundant color, the lower tier floors are more factory and museum-like. You can see here there is a factory you're exploring. Sometimes it looks like you're going through a museum. Okay then! It didn't blow them up, it blew them away! Yep, we're against the floor 10 boss. Now, the floor 10 boss is always going to be the easy mode variant of the boss, while the floor 20 boss will always be the hard mode variant. Depending on which boss you face, or which floor you face them on, depends on what they have as their kit. And of course, it had to be this thing, the Pinging Marshal. The Pinging Marshal will always start by throwing a splat bomb at you, and you can still damage it even if the little jaws that keep most of its body shut are not open. They also count as a portal. They will sometimes spawn enemies when you see that aura. They are guaranteed to spawn enemies if they hit a bumper, like the 5 that are on the field. And this is one of the attacks they can do, and I hate when they do it. The Spin Dash. That's essentially what this is. I'm sorry for using the name from another blue hedgehog. The Spin Dash is basically their most dangerous in their third phase because that's where they go the fastest. And if you should face this thing on the 20th floor, that Spin Dash got a whole lot more dangerous because when it does a Spin Dash on the 20th floor, it will leave behind suction bombs, and get this, it might even do multiple passes. If you make it hit a bumper, it will leave behind a shockwave that will extend to the entire field. So, you saw how close those enemies were getting to me, right? That's what I mean by... That's what I mean by how good of a shoving tool the Trizuka is. Sometimes the Lentos will push the thing around. Maybe to your detriment, maybe to your benefit. Maybe they'll even just do it to basically hit a bumper as they spawn more mooks, and to basically cause more shockwaves to happen. Now, if you got a lot of luck chips here, let the spawning mooks use the spawning mooks to your advantage, because with spawning mooks, you can basically use them to have luck drops happen. Should you get any luck drops to happen during should you get any luck drops to happen during one of these runs. And oh gosh, it's doing lasers on its smallest, on the third phase. This is the... Okay, it didn't last that long. Okay, now with these Lentos out of the way. Ugh. Okay, no, okay, I have some flooring. Ugh. That was not exactly the best thing to get bounded by. That came so... Of course, you stop it from hitting one bumper, you make it go into another. And boy, does this game like having, love its shockwaves. There are shockwaves everywhere! At least with its bosses. Knowing me, floor 20 is probably going to be parallel cannon. I'm calling it now. And it's doing the most dangerous variant of its spin dash. This is the most sloppiest fight I've ever had against this thing, and I've had runs where I took this thing down in 2 minutes. Yes, thanks, phone. There we go. Hey. I love using my special while defeating the elusive bounder. Sorry for that silence. Yeah, vending machine corner. And watch, I'm gonna get Jack Squat, not even a good enough special for me to use in the vending machine corner. These vending machines are manufactured by Express Incorporated or something. I say not going to get something good, and then I get disc piece drop. Oh yes. Having access to the step-off song is really good. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think yellow's now my main color now. Agent 4's palette is based off that of Agent 4 themselves. Simply because you get the most basic special, the most basic sub, and the most basic weapon. It's how you start off every Octo Valley playthrough, and you're supposed to be upgrading that weapon the entire time. It's the most easiest weapon to use, so of course it makes sense for that to be the case. Fortunately, we get a bit of a break. We got some easy floors with some good chips. No, yeah, main firing speed. I rarely get this chip to show up reliably. So now we're on the second tier floors. These floors are more themed after aquariums and pools. And of course, I hit the lip of a platform, and it makes that not exactly the portal I wanted to make it go to. Now, even if you are on later floors, the spawning rate of the enemies can still increase. As a result, how did that... Excuse me? I didn't think it would actually get into the second goal that easily. Now you will start seeing these danger floors. something will be a bigger threat on these floors. You could lose access to your drone, which means losing access to the step-off song. Luck drops cannot happen, meaning that if you have a luck build, well, you might as well go back to the elevator. Or the lights could be turned off, the entire field could be coated, or you can get stronger gelatins to show up. Why can't I vernacular today? Ugh. Exposed switchback floor. This is essentially one half of Moray Towers right here. Fortunately, right here is the splat zone, and all you have to do is just fight off waves of foes that spawn from these gushers. When there's no portals, they will spawn from gushers instead. So, when you see the Capriosos, make a beeline towards them to stop them from covering your zones. They will not actively attack you, but they will indeed actively cover your paths and take away your zones. So yeah. And that bomb you see right there, I just recolored it to my color and prevent them from basically attacking me. They can either fire splat bombs, or you can color them and make them eat their own weapon and take them out just like that. They are known as gushing triumphales. Yeah. That is not exactly a good floor I want, especially if main damage distant. Carefully aimed reversal floor. Because it's just, this would actually be useful with main damage distant, but the issue is, it's a danger floor. I can go back and repick. Might as well show off the danger floor. If I'm lucky, it's going to be Crash Bandicoot. But if I'm not, I'm going back. Okay, floor is well lit up. No, oh. That's not good for me. No item drops, which means most of the things I have that I can use to my advantage, including Lucky Bomb drops, gone. I have to play it old school. No luck. Like, no item drops is a luck player's worst nightmare. At the very least, I'm at the mercy of using my other chips. You can even use these on the turbines and such. There are two areas where you can hit the turbine: the top and the bottom. The top smaller turbine and the bigger lower turbine. So yeah. The other thing that can also suck about this floor is facing a arpeggio barrage. But I have to say, it was worth it because it means longer range, more damage with my main damage distant. It's speaking of which. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's get that. Now, one chip we haven't seen yet are mobile chips, and mobile chips are... Oh, it's this floor. I forgot how much this floor sucks. There's a gimmick with this floor. Get close to those portals, battering lentos will spawn and block your shots. It's entirely possible to actually hit them from those portals, but it is virtually impossible. Did get a disc piece drop. However, my setup is actually really good. Because, well, that is the easiest time I ever had at that floor. I never have an easy time at that floor, simply because if you get too close to those portals will start spawning battering lentos. Ugh. Onrushing, shelterless fortress floor, splat ink recovery. It's either I take no support, some support. Let's do it. Let's ball. We're gonna ball here. We haven't shown off a single mobile chip yet. And unfortunately, yeah, not doing that. Again, it's another case of why would they take away something that is so essential to even win? Why is that over there? Yeah, sometimes I feel like this floor was just one. It was just so close to being a rigorous floor simply because of the enemy spawn rate. Ay. Man, those luck drops are really coming in handy. Because they can spawn in millions. Like, okay, I'm maybe exaggerating the number, but they spawn a lot. Way too much. Like, this is a good use of your specials here. That little... No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm going for it. Going for it. Yeah. That's why you want disc piece drop. Yes. Yes. If the challenge is not worth it, deplete that meter and just treat it like a normal floor. Crisscross floor. That is way too good of a chip for the floor it's on. So with the increase in firing speed up, you could basically turn your splatter shot into you can turn your splatter shot into a arrow spray, essentially. Increasing it further, you basically have was the equivalent of what would be the Grisco shooter, if one should exist. And you can see right here, it's melting these things. This is also one of the few easy floors to even spawn the Noble Mentes. These sniper towers that will lock onto you. Wait for a perfect moment to attack you, and when they play a certain noise, well, that is basically your sign of you better not be right there at that moment. That is instant critical stasis. I could take the risk with the danger floor, or I can go spend my winnings. Well, might as well see what it is. Now, don't get complacent on danger floors. They can suck. And no pearl. Oh, this is going to be bad. Fortunately for me. Because without pearl, you cannot use... Without pearl, you cannot use the step-off song. And you want to make sure that you have an open opportunity Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. Nope. Move, move, move. Because there's certain floors that I'm going to deliberately avoid for this challenge simply because they're practically impossible. Not worth the risk. Oy. Tempting, but... I need a break from that. Ceaseless uneven floor. Ay. I really don't like this floor. Every time, it's this floor. It's always the worst floor because even on normal, even on its normal variation, the enemy spawn rates are the absolute worst. You have to deal with a Noble Mente that will make your life a living hell. You have to deal with you even have to deal with oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the amount of enemies that spawn, they just won't. Like, you saw what I was able to do right there? I was lucky enough to not even have them attack. Hey. And guess what? Wait. Yep, there it is. There's the one that spawns. And as you saw right there, because of my luck drops, the disc piece drop chances being much higher. Basically, I was able to get myself 2 disc piece drops. Drops like shortly after the thing ran out. But you saw right there why I hate this floor. Because of the enemy spawn rates. It doesn't matter what floor it is. I was playing with fire there, and I'm not going to get nearly as lucky as I am with floor 20. Ay. I've had enough of this game's BS. I'm going to take it straight to the fridge. And guess what? I called it. We now have the hard mode variant of Parallel Cannon. On easy mode, it's 1 inkling, 2 inklings, 4 inklings, and 3 armor pickups right here. Hard mode, 2, then 3, then 5. And a team of 5 is illegal, because it's supposed to be 4v4. Shoot. That's not good. That's our only armor. And this one, as far as I'm aware, looks like they have dualies. Yep, there he goes. There goes one. Now, there will always be an inkling that starts with triple splashdown. In fact, there he is. Oy. Pearl will always point out the location of of any parallel inklings. Now we're up to face a. Now, if they spawn any gelatins, use your luck chips to your advantage. They will come in handy, because your luck chips will actually have a chance of spawning some luck drops. Maybe even the inklings themselves will give you a luck drop too. This one has a brush, as the one we splat had umbrella. This one has blaster, in this case being Luna Blaster. And now, it's time for the wave of 3. And there goes our armor, thanks a lot. This one has a roller. I took that one out in the air. And that splash radius is really coming in handy. That bomb wouldn't have had that reach. I'm not even using my main weapon for this last one. How? That went from the worst to the best run in just 2 waves. How did that even... Yeah. I'm impressed how clean that was. Very impressed. Not worth being on a danger floor. Now on the higher tiers, the higher tier is definitely going to be very dangerous. I think this floor has a chance of actually reflecting the color you're using. You know what? This is actually really good to have. And I want to get this as well. Like, being able to make your shots a bit more precise is really good. Let's see. That's not worth it. Almost worth it. I don't think I have sticky ink, so I think I want to do splash damage. If I can increase that damage output with the portals, that would help. Portals do count as part of your field research. And of course, we have to deal with these portals. Now, bigger portals, they take more HP, HP and such. Oh boy. Ugh. And as you can see, that portal would take much longer if I didn't have that firing speed up. So yeah, higher the floor, higher the enemy spawn rates, even on lower difficulties. So, take your step off song, and get moving. Yeah, no. Not on my watch. Now, sometimes you can have a much smoother ride up this section of the floor simply because of what you have at your disposal. This one's not worth it. This one's not worth it. This one's probably the only thing that's worth it. This is a blue chip. These are mobile chips. These will always be useful when it comes to moving around, and I recommend having stuff like this if you're able to like increase your swim speed or run speed. Though I kind of wish run speed up. Of course it had to be this floor. Okay, so before we jump to this floor, I didn't know there was a wall here. This floor is what I like to call the road. There is an uninkable path in the middle. And there are inkable sides. These are essentially your sidewalks. But there is one particular enemy that really makes this road their own. The Noble Mentes. They are the worst thing to face on these floors. And don't get complacent, because... I shouldn't have been pushed out of there. Remember when I say one nudge, that's enough? I'm not kidding like that.